that's not good. Hi. We'll be starting in a little bit. Let's hang out for now, guys. I'm just setting up my battle station as well, so give me a minute. Hey, sponsor. Hey, Mike. It's good to see you guys. Awesome. So is this your first time? Thanks for joining us, by the way. We'll be starting in a little bit, by the way. Let me know in the chat if you guys got any questions, as usual. I gotcha. Wow, from Germany. That's awesome. So we probably we'll have you until you fall asleep. Have you been following the recordings at least? If you have, let me know how that's working out so far. Hey Sal, I've been searching for some bootstrap sits with purple labels, but I can't seem to find anywhere. So you're just looking for a purple label, sort of like the Twitch button here on the chat. We can probably add our own.
I don't understand what they want from me.
I gotcha. It's fine. Hit me, Nolan. Oh, I have myself muted on Mumble. No wonder. Hey, Nolan.
Unmuted. Hey.
Sorry, I had this muted.
Oh, that explains what's going on. Yeah, you're not off.
Hey, Morion. So, Mr. Baba Life, Lafe, Mr. Baba, let's go with that. You're just looking to make a button purple, correct? Okay, we can actually do that. Just a moment, I'll show you a little bit. Just a moment. Need to update my API key. Hey Tony, it's good to see you. Alright, so a purple button. Got an unauthorized right there. Alright, I'm just gonna edit a button on the home page just to show you. How you can do this. Let's see, home. Alright, so we're gonna make our own purple class. So first, let's look at how it looks when we use one of the Bootstrap CSS classes. So let's make this primary. Now let's use success. Alright, so that's green. And using the Chrome developer tools, if you right click the button, you can inspect the element and you can kind of look at what CSS they got. So let's say you want to make your own. Let's go to Ionic. They got a really nice purple. The Ionic framework is just another CSS JavaScript library. Alright, so let's see here. On the app folder, under there's a file called app.css. We're gonna add our own Royal class here, so let's call it btn Royal, and then I'm gonna borrow these settings for it right here, just the border color and the background color. So now if I go to home.js and then I add the class btn Royal, maybe it'll work. We'll find out. Alright, that's purple. That kind of worked. But it might make sense to make our font white and not dark. So using the inspect element, I'm gonna just get an idea of how it looks if I were to add the color white. It might be text color. Not sure why color. Usually color just works. In this case it's not, so I'm missing something. Oh, there it is. Not sure why it didn't kick in. But yeah, that makes... So we'll go to our class here and just add color white. That should do it, and I can commit this if you want. So now whenever you want to pull that that royal button, I mean that purple, you would just do btn dash royal. Hey, the prime 0. Thanks for joining. So, Mr. Baba, I'm gonna commit this if you just wanna pull down to have that new change to the app.css file. Let's see how this looks if we could have the button on the right and the select on the left. Because I know TSM Insanity brought this up. What if the person rather just hit a button to go instead of doing enter? There's no reason why we can't have row. A little funky, but we can fix this. Yeah, that kind of stretches out right there. This doesn't even seem to be the right class. We're gonna have to find a fix for that. But yeah, let me commit this. We can work from here. I swear, I think my GitHub or my Git program here, whenever I try to ignore a file, it still tries to edit. So let's see, today, wow, there's a lot of people already connected, a lot earlier than usual. So it's good to see everyone. Thanks for joining. We haven't officially started, but let's talk about what we're gonna do today. And first, let's review where we're at. This is where we're at. Ignore this for now. We need to fix this right quick. We need to look up Bootstrap what's the right class for this select on the left. So far we did some error handling when we're looking for a summoner that's not that wasn't ever made. So let's say here if I type in somebody I know doesn't exist, we have Lee Sin here screaming his favorite word, Iku. And for that, to get that working, we did a lot of work in the back end as far as PHP. The Riot API sends back a status code of 404 when you search for somebody that doesn't exist. So we were able to use that status code in our Ajax, so that if it doesn't exist, it comes back as 404. And if we look at our home.js, using the Angular Ajax HTTP, you can designate 2 blocks of functions, one for when the status code is 200, which is in this case, and then the next function or parameter in this object does something when it comes back with something other than 200. 200 means that it was found, or it's a valid status code. So that's where you see here that I'm printing out Iku. So we did that this week. That was Monday stream. And then Tuesday stream, the last one. That was strange. That was like another sound. That was not me. So Tuesday stream, we set this page up. This is the profile page where, you know, we're already pulling our icon. We determine our ranking, what league we're in our division tier icon here. And now we're also pulling the last 10 matches in your history, as well as your kills, deaths, and assists. So that's what we did Tuesday. We honestly didn't cover that much. We moved a little slow because most of the stream was spent describing things and just making sure everyone was understanding. That being said, I know TSM Insanity mentioned that we're using the wrong API call for the last time matches, that there might be a newer version. So I'm going to start off by looking up the documentation and making sure that what TSM Insanity said is true. Not that I'm saying he's a liar, but it might be another API call that we're getting confused here with. So yeah, we're not too far, guys. Our site looks pretty basic. There's been a couple people that decided to play around with the CSS on their own. That's fine, that's good. That's what I want you guys to do. That's why I'm leaving this clean for you guys to just go ahead and make it your own, you know, add your own touch to it. TSM Insanity has been doing cool things. He sent me this image. And he's a little ahead of us, as in he's showing what items you used for each match. So we're gonna do that today. We'll hop on that. We'll display all the other details as far as that match. We're gonna do most of the things he's doing here, like CSS. I mean your CS, your creep score, IP earned. That could be useful. But something else we're gonna show or do today, I hope, is show what champion you use. Show the icon for it. And then we'll see if we can get enough room here to just show all the 10 players and what champions they use. Maybe we'll occupy this area on the right. We'll occupy it for that. We'll see. It's really open to anything that can go tonight, as far as what I just said with the remaining space on this match history. So we'll see what we do with that space. But we will do the necessities, icons, a couple more stats, maybe a little CSS styling just to make it look cleaner. So maybe that answers your question. And there goes my key. Not a big deal. I reset my key after every stream, guys, so I am trying to follow the Riot rules here, which they clearly say to make sure you keep your keys to yourself. If you don't have a key, this is where you need to log in, developer.riotgames.com. Just log in with your account and you should have a developer key. Alright, so let me look for that other API call someone mentioned to me. And if anyone has any questions on the chat before we officially kick off, let me know. Again, thanks for joining. Thanks, Nolan. Nolan is on a mumble call with me. He's somewhat watching over the stream. I mean the chat, in case I miss anything. I know sometimes he has other things he needs to take care of, so if you do hear another voice, it's Nolan. He's here with us. I haven't seen TSM Insanity say anything in the chat. Let me know if you're there, buddy. Alright, let's see here. Alright, so he said I'm using the request of match history from, which is so requested from this one. Region 2.2 Summer ID, match history version 2.2. How did I miss this one? Could it be this? Alright, let's see what this one, how this one differs. He might be right. Oh, I know what I didn't use this one. Okay, let's try this. Because I think this one's more specific to Q-type. So for this one, you can specify which rank queue you want to pull from. But that might be optional though. So let's see what happens if I just use my summon ID here and I leave all this other stuff blank. Okay. So he might be right. We should probably switch it to this one. This is what I like doing. I like selecting the response body. And then I go to a website called JSONEditorOnline.org. I paste it here, convert it. Kind of just gives me a more manageable view for me to break down this object that I got back from the call. So we can see we got an array of matches, 10 to be exact, and this array contains 10 objects. Each object, as we can guess, corresponds to a game. How is this one different than the other API we're using? Let's compare here. Alright, so I'm gonna do the other API call. Is that the one we're using? If I go to my core folder, Riot API, this is where we got our backend code. Alright, call League. Then we're using game 1.3. Alright, so I'm getting the response for game version 1.3, which is what we are currently using. And I just want to compare how my response body looks in Alright, so this is the one TSM Insanity is saying we use. And this is the one we're using already. So off the bat, this one looks to be slimmed down. Let's expand one game. This one doesn't... Okay, participants. Yeah, I think we should go with the 2.3. Or the one TSM Insanity said. It seems to be... It makes more sense. Like when it says participants, that might be more manageable than having fellow players, and then that's every other player you play with. I don't know. Let's keep looking here. Q-type. Oh, hold on. No, what I just said was not accurate, guys. This one doesn't even send or contain information related to who you play with as well. All the other 9 folks. This participants. This might be just your details, like what masteries you use and whatnot. Stats. Yeah, this is all related to you or to the person we're searching. So on their stats, this one has 58 properties, and the 1.3 only has 41. Hi Mochi. We are building a web application using Riot Games API. Riot Games is the maker of the game League of Legends, and they publish an API for you to get data related to League of Legends. And we are doing that. We're building this web application in Angular, Bootstrap, and PHP. What does the app do? So if we go to the app, so far we're not too much into, we're not that far ahead is what I mean to say. So right now the app, you type in your in-game name. So far we have it coming back with your last 10 games, your match history. This is my profile icon. It also has your rank, your solo queue ranking details, your division, and your tier, and your icon for that division. So far again we're just started. This is what, our 4th stream. Most of the streams were really low. I made sure to make sure that everyone was understanding what I was doing. This is not just me coding away quietly and with music on and with no interaction. There's been a lot of interaction and learning. So no, this is not for the API contest. The contest details or categories are different. This is just kind of for fun and also for learning. I said this our last stream, but League of Legends being the popular game that it is, with so many people playing it every day, they have this awesome API with a lot of people interested in it. It's just that for most of those people, there doesn't seem to be a clear way for them to just get a project going. I mean, you can read through the API documentation and kind of understand what each call does, but the feeling I got is that there's still a lot of people out there that have no experience in making a web application. So the couple first streams were how to set up a local server, and then I went over how to keep your API key in the backend with PHP. And then we set up a couple API calls together, and this is where we're at now. So guys, we were comparing the 2 API calls here, and it seems like you can use either one. We have Game 1.3, which is what we implemented on Monday or Tuesday, rather. And then we have match history version 2.2. So far, the only difference I noticed is that Match History 2.2 doesn't seem to show you all the other players in that game. It does have more details as far as your masteries and your runes. I don't think Match History has that. No, it doesn't. Let me make sure. Nope. Has your stats, has fellow players, but it doesn't have masteries or runes. And the timeline, this could be important. Let's look at how this works. So we have timeline, we have vote per minute details. I think they misspelled that slightly. Or not. It was just their phrasing. So Match History 2.2 just goes more in depth. And yeah, there's a lot of things in here we can use. Be nice just to combine. There's no way I'm gonna rewrite or get rid of Match 1.3. I think we can keep going with what we have for now, and maybe in the future integrate it with Match History 2.2 somehow. Who knows? So yeah, guys, if you're just joining, we haven't officially started. I was just answering a couple questions and looking over the documentation, reviewing, making sure I'm aware of where we're at and what's next. So let's see if we can get started here. The thing is, Match 1.3 doesn't have items, so that's not good.
I am a tyrant that you should trust, and you should let me run your life.
So yeah, if we want to use or show the items you use that game, I might have to make an extra API call. So let's look for that API call. So I do not see them on here. Alright, so it's probably like match details or something. Could be this one, just match. Yeah, this definitely seems to be it. I'm gonna guess that it takes a match ID. Include timeline. Okay, let's go. So let's give this a match ID, game ID. Alright, today's stream should be pretty fun. Alright, give it a match ID, and let's see what we come back with. Alright, that comes back with participants. Participant identities, not sure what that is. Okay. Teams. So that's just team stats. Let's break out each participant. Timeline. How many stream sessions? Well, for the last week of August, I'm going to be outside of the country. So after this week, we have 3 more sessions next week. And I hope I have enough done to just let people go on their own and just expand off what we made, you know? So I think after next week, we should have enough streams already to call this social project stable, I guess, or sufficient. But yeah, so far I do not see items. If anyone knows which API call brings back items, let us know in the chat.
Because I do know what is best for you.
Okay. Stats. Yeah, there's a lot of data here to do a lot of analytics. Okay, let's look up another API call.
The sunlight begins to fade now, and I feel like I'm losing time, but I don't know how I'm here. The sunlight has turned to gray, and I feel like I'm losing love again. I don't know how I'm here.
Yeah, I might be missing where the icons or items are for the game. But alright, we're about to dive in. I think at this point it makes sense to add match 2.2 to our backend. So let's start off with that. Or sorry, not match 2.2 yet. Let's start off with match history 2.2. So let's add that to our backend. I'm going to go ahead and copy this request URL. You have Riot API open. Go ahead and expand that. So you think it's on Match API? I must have missed it. Let's go back in here. I think I have Match API on here. So you're saying I think it was on Match API, stats, and then item. Item ID.
And I know now we're getting older. The world we built is slipping through our fingers. We're running out of time.
Under stats. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Alright, so this is the plan. First, let's make sure we use match 1.3 all the way. So I think there's a couple more details from that response that we can use, especially if they won the game or not. I think eventually it makes sense to rewrite it to match history version 2.2 though. Because I think we can work with both API calls, maybe. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate because I would have rather used match history version 2.2 and then combine that with match, the API call we're looking at here, to pull up all the other fellow players and their items under stats. Alright, but first let's integrate match. What was the version? Match 2.2. We can add that call to our backend. And eventually, we're making so much API calls. I think next week we'll start adding how we can cache and store the data we're getting back. So alright, let's take this call here. For match, it might make sense to build its own function. So that gets summoner. And this needs to be refactored in the future too, guys. So, but for match, I'm gonna just go ahead and build its own function, like I said. Let's see here, but for this specific function, I want to make it to where I pass an array of games, and for each game this function is going to be clever enough to get the match history or the match details for each game and just append that to each match object. So let's program that out. Alright, so let's get match for array. So the first parameter I'm going to pass is the array of matches. And I think that's all we need because the region is already on there. Let's look at our JavaScript console. Alright, so this is our JavaScript console. Let's start cleaning up our console because earlier, or the other streams, we were logging a couple more things that we don't need to log anymore. So we go to summoner.js. Let's see. The only console I need is the final version of our code, or our response object, after we do the pre-filtering, rearranging things around. If you guys remember that. So let's see, we don't really need this anymore. That may be useful. Let's see. This response is what I don't want. I do want it, but I want it further below after we're done rearranging the objects. So I want to see how it looks after we're done playing with it. So right here we set it to summoner. It might make sense to set our log right there. Alright, let's look at our page. I'm just going to refresh. That's the AJAX we sent to the server. Looks like I missed one log. That's okay though. Oh, okay. That was also from debugging. It's important to, when you log things, to put before it where your log or what functions you have that login. I can actually get a little more elegant with the way I'm console logging using Angular's log service, but I decided to just use native JavaScript console log. Alright, so let's see here. Alright, so this is our response. And this is what our match array looks like. And it's under games. So we need to remember that. And let's see, does each match already contain a region? It does not, so we're gonna have to pass that. Alright, that's okay. Here we go. Alright, back to Riot API.php. Alright. So at some point here, we're going to say get match details. But we're just going to call that function, so we're going to say what we can do here is say match games. I really don't have to reset this because I could just use by reference, so ignore this. Alright, I'm just going to call the function we just wrote, so I'm going to say self. And then instead of saying get, I'm just going to say set. And I'm going to pass in the array for each game. So that's summoner, match, and then if we look at our object, let's see. So this object is the summoner, right? Then we have another object called match. So that's match. And then instead of match, we have games. That's the array we want to pass to our function. And then our region, because we're going to be making some API calls, so we need to specify that. It's in this variable of our class. All right. Awesome. Let's see here. All right. You might be thinking, why don't we just do this in JavaScript? I don't want to hit my server with a bunch of AJAX calls so quickly. So we're just going to do this in PHP. All right, so knowing that this is an array, we just need to make a for loop. But let's do a for each instead. It's a little more elegant. And then this ampersand just means that we're going to do it by reference, because we're going to be doing changes to each object in that array. And then you say game here. So I'm just saying for each object in this array, and I'm going to reference each object by using this variable game. Alright. Alright, so look at our API call for a game again. It's this is the URL. Alright, so let's build this URL first. We can do it again. So at the end, you're gonna have your API key. Which is set in API key.php. It's defined as a global, so that we don't have to show it every time we're doing this. Alright, so this is where the match ID goes, and that's where we're going to set it. So, if we look at our JavaScript console again, just to get an idea of where the game ID is. Not champion ID, game ID. So I'm going to parse out here, and I'm going to append the game ID, which the reference we're using is game, so we say game, and then we say game ID here. Alright, we also need to specify the region. This is another way of appending to a string. Use the curly brackets. And I guess we gotta specify this one too. Or change that one. Okay, so as usual, after we got our URL, we do a file get content. So when you do that, all that's happening is that PHP is loading up this page. And this page is basically a giant JSON object. File get content just copies all this text. So at this point, this is just a string. So the next thing you want to do is decode that string. We're just converting it to native PHP code and not a string. So that's what JSON and decode does. I don't think I ever explained that. Alright, so the last thing we do is this game reference that we're getting from the array. We're going to add a new property called details. Let me make sure that's not occupied. Yeah. You know, it might even make more sense to call it like this. So that's game, and then I'm going to add a new property called game version 2.2. Just so we know, I don't know. It doesn't hurt to call it that. Just so we know what API call we did and what details we got back from it. You can change this on your own, guys. So we're saying that for each object in that array, we're going to add a new property called game_b22, and the property we are adding is this array we got from the API call. Once we decoded it, we're just going to set it here. Alright, so by the end of this function, each one of these games inside of match games to have a new property, a new key here called game v22. So let's see if that works. Again, thanks for those that joined the stream. Let me know in the chat if you have any questions. Today's been kind of quiet. Not sure why. I see Sanitizer, I see Sponcia, I see Tony, I see TSM Insanity, but he's not saying much. But yeah, again, I'm glad that I have some people here, so thanks again. Let's proceed. I'm going to save this, so I think that's it. As long as I'm calling this function right here, those changes should take effect. Hopefully I don't get a PHP warning, we should find out. Alright, so I'm just going to refresh the page. Well, this one's taking longer, and I can see why, because we're making 10 extra API calls, right? Alright, so game version 2.2 came back null, so we made a mistake. Let's try to figure that out. Game details.
Used to think I was someone special till you knew my name. Open the doors to
I'm gonna do a log of the URL we build, just to make sure it's being built correctly. So I'm gonna refresh the page, and then when I go to my PHP error log file, I should see 10 rows of URLs. Oh, here's the logs, not config. Alright, so here's our 10 rows. If I were to paste this into my URL, is it gonna work? Access denied, so it might be my API key got blocked already. Unless I changed it and I forgot to update it. It seems to be working now. We'll try this again. Doesn't work here. Alright, I'm just doing a comparing where it worked and when it didn't. So let's look at our URL here. We got ppp.net API. Alright, so I forgot to say API here. I'm not sure why I removed that. So, my mistake. Alright, so we found the error. So let's fix our URL. So we got .NET, then we got API. Yeah, not sure what happened. Low region, I think this is where we messed up. Low region, and then we have version 2.2. Oh. We have match ID, and the API key. Let's see if it worked this time. We got match, we got games. Nope, I'm sure it's not. Alright guys, so it worked this time around. So we got here our array of games, an array of objects. Each object is a game. And then we just added a key call here, game v22. And that's the response from the API call. So now we can work with this and we can make our site more informative, right? Awesome. So let's do that. Let me know if everyone's doing good so far. Again, it's kind of quiet out there and I have a lot of viewers. Alright, so there's an ice cream truck outside my house right now.
You ever hear the one that says that does the music and it goes, hello?
Yes, those are infamous here, or at least when I actually lived in the ghetto in Detroit. I don't know.
I'm trying to think that pedophiles probably.
Maybe. Alright guys, so the first thing I want to upgrade here on our site is to show whether we won or lost. And that indication is probably or definitely found inside of games. So let's look at each game. And I remember, I think it was under stats. And somewhere in here there should be a win. Okay, there it is. So if win is false, you lost. If it's true, you won. So if you guys remember the stream where I explained how ng repeat works, it's kind of like our for each. Thanks guys, thanks for focusing. That's also important. Alright, so let's look at our code. Let's go to summoner.html. Alright, here we go. So again, if you remember our ng repeat, it was kind of like a for loop or a for each loop, where I'm just specifying here what's the array, and then I want to reference each object in that array as match. So here I have match.gameMode. That's what's giving us the classic. Then I have subtype. That's whether it was a normal, a ranked, solo, or a 3v5. And then I'm also referencing champion skill, number of deaths, and assists. And that's what we got under the gray label here. So now what I want to do is, I kind of want to do sort of like if we go to Bootstrap. Bootstrap, they don't really document how to do this, but I'm just going to borrow it anyways. They have like color on the left, like this. We can do the same for each row here. We can add either green or red, signifying whether you won or lost. So if we were to borrow this, all this really is just a border in the left, and maybe alright, so let's see. Let's inspect our element, and using the Chrome console here, for each row I'm going to add a left border. For now I'm just going to call it green. We can get a better color later. And then I'm going to give it some border width. Alright, so you can see already how it's showing up. So let's make it a little thicker. Alright, we need to get rid of all this other crap. It's because I'm saying border width. Border width is going to do all four corners, so we got to do border left width. And that does that. There's still a little weird looking. I don't know what's going on right there. It's like a pixel that's not being drawn. That's already there. There's a way to give it a little round edges to it. I think that's border. Border radius, I'm pretty sure. Alright, so see how that kind of gave it a little curvy edge. That's not too bad. We can work with this. But I only want to give it on the left side, so... I had understood there was a border left radius, but I guess there isn't. Alright. So Chrome Developer Tool is obviously a nice way to learn how to CSS. Oh, let's leave the radius. Which I'm obviously not too familiar with all the classes, but that's okay. Alright, so we'll do that. And this is when I'm going to introduce another Angular. No way. Sorry guys, I took a pause there. This is when I'm going to introduce something called, whoops. I'm going to introduce ng class as another Angular attribute. So we look up Angular ng class. We're going to learn about it. Before I do that though, let's go on app.css and let's add our classes for a victory and a loss. Alright, and now we can talk about ng class. Just a second here. Alright, ng class. What's ng class? Let's find out. Let's see, the directive operates in 3 different ways, depending on which of 3 types the expression evaluates to. The expression is a string. Okay, I'm not going to read all that. Let me look at the test case, or the use case rather. Some examples here. So, ng class. Okay, so this is how it works. It's better if I just code it and then I'll explain it. So I'm gonna go to each match row And to the outer element, which is this list group item, I'm gonna add an ng class attribute. So this is gonna help it determine what color it should show, whether it should show green or red. And how do we do that? We're gonna use the flag in each match inside of game v2. No, not in there. It should be under. It should be outside of it. It should be under match and then stats. So if we expand this out here, just a second. Match games, for each game there should be something called stats, and then there should be a win. So we're going to use that flag to determine what color to show, either green or red. So this is how we do that. Using ng class, I'm going to say here, what was the name of our match loss and match won? I'm going to say show that when I'm going to say that show match loss when match.stats.win is false. That's what this exclamation signifies, the opposite of it being true. And then I'm going to show the match win when this flag is true. And let's see if that worked. Didn't work. So we messed up our expression here. Just a second. Unexpected expression. You know what? I might be confusing class with style. ng style. Just a moment, guys. Hi, Prodigy. It's okay. We've been kind of slow. I'll commit soon, so you'll be able to catch up right away. So far, I just interfaced a new API call. Not a new one. I hooked up match version 2.2. It just gives back more details for each game. So we got that hooked up on the back end. Right now, I'm just going over displaying more information for each game match. So just a second. Okay. But is this just its own class? Okay, guys. So I think I just need to get rid of the single quotes in here. And the rest should be good. So yeah, since we added those API calls, this is taking a little longer. Expected token, so it's not liking our class name. Come on. We got ng class. Then red, we got style. We got. I wonder if the dash is. This is probably because. Just a moment, guys. Still, it's not liking my CSS labels, maybe. Let's see here. I'm beginning to feel like this is a variable itself. I just don't see where it's been defined. I feel like it is defined somewhere. What I did with ng class is I'm calling a function with argument match, and then I'm returning the result. So on Angular's website, what ng class does here is that it's setting this class here strike. Strike gets set when the flag deleted gets checked, or when it gets set to true. So if we look at the checkbox down here, deleted, this ng model means that I'm setting this variable as part of this checkbox. So when you have checkboxes in Angular, when you check them, all that happens is that variable gets set to true. Yeah, Little Smith, it's okay. Glad to see you again. Haven't missed much. I connected one new API call that just comes back with more details for each game. And now I'm just setting up more data in this page right here, or your profile page for your matches. There's more information we can use from the response. Yeah, just a moment, guys. I think I definitely forgot how to use ng class. This is just the test cases. Style. Okay, you're using. And then this style is getting set. Alright, watch this. So now I got styled, I'm gonna say bold, but it's only gonna come true when I check deleted. No, it doesn't work like that. See, this one should have worked right off the bat. I wonder if my syntax is just wrong. Much loss. It might be this exclamation mark. Oh, I forgot a curly bracket. Man. Making me look like a fool. Let's try that again. See, even that happens even to me. Just forgetting little small syntax. This is still not working. Match loss. Match one. Just a moment, guys. I wonder if because I have class here already, it's not liking that. So first, let me try removing class here. I just want to see if I have a border. Match stats. Win. Match one. If I go here. I wonder if it's doing that because I have class already in front of it. See, it works even when you append this or have class in front of it. So it's just gotta be something else minor. I mean, I'm pretty sure it should still work inside of a loop too. I don't see a reason why my match reference here wouldn't be like, I don't think order ever matters in Angular. So I got match stats 1, send out a class. Is there anything specific I do with the classes? Nope. They're just defined as usual. Match loss. Cause I'm way too deep. Cause I'm way too deep. Just add quotes on class again. Is that what they do? Let me see, here I got NG class. Cool. No, I don't know. Let me try with just one. If this doesn't work, we'll just use NG style. Yeah, it's not coming back with any errors. So yeah, and well, I can inspect it to see if it's even being triggered. Did I misspell this? Border lift? You know, I bet that this thing is screwing. No. There might be another class that's overriding it, so that might be the issue. It might be this one actually. No problem. We're stuck in this right now, so you got time. So look, yeah, it's definitely getting set, which is good. So this one should be 1. It's just not liking. It's not liking this. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. This is what I'm gonna do. Let me see if this works. Hello, it's Awesome Bacon. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad to see you. Yeah, right now we're having an issue with NG class. So first I noticed it doesn't like dashes. So maybe changing the spelling to, I forgot what's the term for that. Just a sec, let me see if this works. If it works, I'll explain why it worked. NG. Yeah, if this doesn't work, I'm just gonna go with NG style, which I'm certain it should work. It's just gonna be more syntax.
Child of virus, coming crisis,
Okay, so I need the quotes if it has a.
calm down.
Man. This should work right here. Hopefully. 99% sure. Oh, in other versions of Angular this worked. Now you gotta use backslash. And no single quotes. Why are you doing this to me, Angular? Ugh. Now it's saying unexpected character. So now we can't use backslash. What is going on? List group item true.
That's my story. I know less than most do.
Let's try this. Not sure why this is not documented on Angular's website. I'm using 1.4. It's having issues with the dash and now the backslash. Oh my god. I'm gonna switch over to ng style. I'm just not sure why this is not on the version of Angular I'm using. I spent too much time on ng class. Let's use something I'm more familiar with, which is ng style. This is gonna make our code look a little longer. Alright, so ng style, it's kind of the same thing. You have a flag and you're only going to set that style when that flag is true. So the style I'm going to set when the flag is true, I'm writing it out right now. I'm going to do border left with 5 pixels, the color green, and I'm going to do border radius. And then the style I'm going to save for when the game is lost. It's going to be identical. Sorry, it should be the same, only that I'm changing the color green. What am I doing here? I just need this. And here's the flag. So this is gonna set color green when the flag stats 1 is true, and then it's gonna set, then you do comma for the next case. We can delete this right here. We'll eventually figure out the workaround for NG class, because this is obviously too many properties. I think this should work. Let's see here. We got border, color green, border radius, and then border stats 1. Then we need the quotes and quotes here. Hey Q Dog, how many times have you been shot? I'm actually just 20 minutes from Detroit, but I did grow up in Detroit. Oh man. There we go, color expression. Q Dog, yep. Thanks for answering that, little Smith. Q Dog, we're in Detroit. Give me an idea. And this should actually be class, guys. I'm not doing my best Angular today. This is just not gonna work. I already spent too much time, so I'm just gonna. It's not gonna work. Just to get going, guys, I'm just gonna say next to the match whether they won or not. Actually, what I can do is to the right. No, this app is not addressing any of the 3 categories for the competition. So I'm really upset that this is not working, guys. Let me try that one. At the least. Yes, what's up? Oh, Brighton? Yeah. Or Brightmoor?
No, Brightmoor.
Where's that at?
Brightmoor, that's Detroit. It's like one of those, little tiny subdivisions.
But is that south, west, east?
Oh, south of me. I think you're in Lincoln, so I think it's north of you. Right? Mile Road is Brightmoor.
Sorry guys, it's taking a while. To speed this up, I'm gonna comment out this API call here. We're not even using it yet. So this seemed to work right there. That worked fine. Okay. So now if I have match 1 true, it's gonna work. Doesn't like. Match 1 equals true. We got the wrong. Should be right. It's just getting overridden by another class. It might even be the anchor class. Watch. Or the anchor default properties. Nope. Let's look at here. Let's look at the CSS class. What's the order? So not liking this. So not liking this. So what is this right here? Panel list group. You are screwing up with my CSS. So it's definitely the CSS library. How do I make sure that my Angular class overrides? Overrides that. So yeah, we're getting somewhere. Now I know for sure it's just Bootstrap not being nice. Not really, because I think it happens whenever the document gets ready. That's a tough question there. Let me see if I find any help on this issue. Yeah, so it's working. It's just Bootstrap is Bootstrap's list group item class seems to have a higher priority. So let me see if I find help. I remember in one, I don't know. Yeah, sorry guys, today's stream, we are stuck on another issue. And this is really frustrating. We're gonna keep cool. We might just decide to move on. And instead just show a I'm just gonna show in text that we won. And then I'll try to research in my spare time how to get that working. So, okay, that doesn't look the best, but we can work out with this. So we're gonna show this if. So, and now we're just gonna use NGF. Because we're gonna have two cases. Alright, but hold on. But it has to be when it's false. So that should work now. Hey, can you send me a link to that? So you got it. So it makes each list item have a color background based on, oh, if they win or lose. Oh, that's not bad. Send us a screenshot of how that looks. I don't think I lost all my games, so I think this is wrong. Oh, I know what's going on. No, wait, hold on. Guys, I did not lose all my 10 games, so something's not set correctly. No, I don't think I lost. So let me look up my loking. I won my second game. So classic normal. Game number 2. When is equal to true. So why did this match is not spelled correctly? And there we go. Thank you. Yeah, you caught that before I did, but it's still not working. Oh, it should be when. Sorry, it's just that NG class got me out of my element. But there, we spent all that time just to do this. We should have just done this first. So wow, I haven't really done so well. But let's keep adding details on here, because that's what we want. We got stuck too long in NG class. Again, I apologize. Thanks for all you guys that are tuned in. Let's make more progress here before everyone loses hope and trust. All right, so let's look at the each game object again. And maybe I should commit this. Let's commit this. Oh, and let's look at the image Mr. Baba did. Can you post a link of how that looks? So here's the code, and let's see how you use. Oh, okay.